All eyes are on mortgage rates and home prices right now. Everyone is waiting to watch home prices fall drastically and mortgage rates to rise, which would make homes even more unaffordable than they already are. Our housing market has been red hot for the last 2 years, and although you would hear rumblings about our homes being unaffordable, because of the low interest rates, homes were still within reach. Now, some would have to make some compromises on some of the things that they wanted, but overall, if you wanted to buy a house, you could. And many that were buying these homes were doing this purely because of the historically low interest rates. And those that did buy were getting away from renting, they were moving up, they were moving down, and they were relocating. So how did we get to this big discrepancy in affordability? This did not happen overnight. Can affordability change that fast? And will we see more affordable homes in 2023? To take a look at how we got here, we have to go back to the mid-2000s when the housing market was booming. We saw a rapid growth in home build permits as well as investment and employment. This is when builders were building a lot of homes. This is also when all that subprime lending started, as well as a ton of speculation and people using homes like ATMs. Because of this predatory lending, the loans sold to mortgage-backed securities became very risky. And when the markets became aware of just how much risk, this is when our market crashed. Now, because of these loans, people were not putting very much money down, so they had no equity in these homes. They also never planned on living in them. They were buying them to close on them and turn them quickly to make a profit. So as they became underwater, they had only one option: short sale or foreclosure. And when this housing market crashed, so did investments, home buying, and home building. Here in the Phoenix Scottsdale market, there was so much building going on. Buyers were going from builder to builder to builder to buy these homes, to wait for them to be complete, just to purely put them back on the market and make money. I can tell you during this time, I was working for a developer, and we were not only just selling land, but we were selling homes for a few different builders that were building within this subdivision. I had about 4 or 5 different buyers that would buy the home from the builder, they would make all their selections, and then they would decide they don't want to finish the purchase. But instead of backing out of the contract, which they would have lost money, they stayed in the contract and then put it on the market and allowed buyer number 2 to come in and purchase that home. So when the home closed from the builder, it would close 2 times. It would close from the builder to buyer number 1, and then from buyer number 1 to buyer number 2, and everyone made money. I had at least 2 of these do this 3 times. So it would go from builder to buyer number 1 to buyer number 2 to buyer number 3, all in one day. It was crazy. Now, the short sales and foreclosures lasted from about 2006 through 2012. And one of the industries that was hit the hardest was construction workers. We lost about half of the residential construction workers, which made a huge impact on that industry. We did not see a more stabilized market for investments and employment until about 2010. Even though here in the Phoenix Scottsdale market, we were still working through all our short sales and foreclosures until about 2012, which got us back into more normal levels. Now, because of this massive pullback from the builders, the number of homes that needed to be built to keep up with our population as well as our employment growth was not met for years. We got so far behind in our building that when we got to our most recent boom, we were so far behind the 8 ball that we had massive inventory shortage. And when the pandemic shutdown happened, so many people that were allowed to now work from home decided to make a move out of expensive cities into more affordable places to live. Many of those that moved away from those big cities had just had enough. In the regions that experienced the largest surges in demand, like Phoenix, saw record low inventory for homes and record long lines of buyers wanting to purchase these homes, hoping to take advantage of the historically low interest rates. These factors, coupled with historic underbuilding, drove prices higher and higher, just furthering the gap of affordability. According to the Cromford Report, in terms of affordability in the Metro Phoenix area, a household making a median family income should normally be able to afford 60 to 75% of what's sold. That measure for the second and third quarters of 2022 was only 22%. With all of this, how will homes become affordable again without a major housing crash? Some believe it's going to take years for affordability to get back in range, unless, like I said, there are huge price drops. But that's not necessarily true. As rising mortgage rates have made homes less affordable, declining mortgage rates can change that very quickly. Affordability is determined by 3 things: family income, the 30-year mortgage rate, and the sales price. Price is not the only thing that needs to change in order to push affordability back into the normal range. The Cromford Report gave this example. In order for the current median sales price of $418,000 to be considered affordable to a family making the median income of $88,800 in 2021, mortgage rates would have to drop to 3.35%, or the median income would have to increase to $119,000 per year. Now, both of these scenarios are just too extreme to expect in a short period of time. However, we could see home prices decline a little bit more, as well as mortgage rates decline a little bit more, which would bring us back into a more normal range of affordability in 2023. See, when mortgage rates reverse, this actually affects affordability faster than any other factor. If you listen to any of the experts talk about this issue, you will hear them say that for the same price home last year, when interest rates were 3%, versus today, when interest rates are 6.5% to 7%, it is often about a $750 addition to their mortgage payment every single month. And this is for the average first-time homebuyer price point. At this point, no one can predict where the interest rates are going. In fact, even the experts, none of them can even agree on where they think it's headed. Economists are predicting that by mid to end of 2023, we will be anywhere from 5.2 to 8%. That's a big spread. If rates rise, prices will have to drop so that we can reach affordability. But if rates drop, prices will not have to drop as drastically. Personally, I am more in line with those that think our interest rates are going to be back in the 5s, which will bring our affordability more in line with wages more quickly. However, I am by no means predicting what is going to happen. This is just from the data that I have seen and how the market is trending right now, which can always change. For buyers wanting to buy but not wanting to overpay, make sure you're paying attention to these mortgage rates. Understand how rate buydowns work and buy for the long term, 5 to 7+ years. And if you like this video, take a look at this one where I talk about where the best deals are right now. And if I can answer any questions for you, please feel free to reach out. As always, I thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.